Dependence makes you do things that many may consider immoral. Be it stabbing an all-weather ally in the back or doing business with a country you are fighting a proxy war with. France, for example, it is one of the loudest supporters of Ukraine. It is sending military aid to Ukraine, urging the entire world to support Kiev. But secretly, France is also doing business with Russia. Is that breaking news? Or did you see this one coming? Let me get to the story. Yesterday, a curious cargo arrived in the French port of Dunkirk. This cargo was seen being unloaded from a Russian vessel. This ship had set sail from St. Petersburg, Russia. What was it really carrying? Enriched uranium, 25 cylindrical containers full, packed especially for France from Russia with love. The same Russia, by the way, that France is engaged with in a proxy war in Ukraine. And France was also one of the first countries, remember, to condemn Russia for invading Ukraine. On the 24th of February 2022, the French President Emmanuel Macron had asked Russia, remember, to quote-unquote immediately put an end to its military operation, adding that France stands in solidarity with Ukraine. It stands by the Ukrainians and is working with its partners and allies to end the war. And that has been the French narrative ever since, that Paris is doing all that it can to end the war. Secretly, though, at the same time, France has actually been giving money to Russia, striking business deals with Russia for enriched uranium. In fact, Paris has bought at least 7 cargoes of enriched uranium from Moscow since the start of the war, as per a claim. I repeat, 7 cargoes of enriched uranium. You know what's the irony of it all? The cargo enriched uranium, a material used for nukes. But France is using Russian uranium to run its nuclear power plants. Normally, though, France would not import so much uranium from Russia. But according to a Greenpeace report, France has tripled its imports of Russian uranium in 2022, tripled them. And guess what else happened early in 2022? Russia went to war with Ukraine, the same war that France condoned, that same war for which it sanctioned Russia. And just last month, the French finance minister was in India when he told an Indian news outlet that these sanctions have been effective. Sure, they have. I don't know if you realize, but what we have here is a classic case of hypocrisy. And let me tell you that this hypocrisy is not endemic to France, because hypocrisy is a European habit. All the sanctions, all that criticism, all the tall talks of supporting Ukraine later, Europe continues to import at least a quarter of its diesel from Russia, at least a quarter. This is as of January 2023. In fact, in February, Europe placed an embargo on Russian oil products. And then in March, this report claimed 44 million cubic meters of Russia gas worth well over $100 million is passing through Ukraine into Europe. Europe has given itself time till 2027 to cut all use of Russian oil and gas. 2027. That's ample time to waste and to hope the war ends, because when it does, it may not take too long for Europe to take a U-turn on its plan. Also, earlier this month, another report said Germany remains one of the top buyers of Russian crude oil. Any idea who else features on that list? The Netherlands, Italy, Poland, France, Belgium, Hungary, Bulgaria, Slovakia, Spain, Greece. And you know what's common between these countries? They all swear to be supporting Ukraine in the war. They are the loudest cheerleaders of the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky. who, by the way, had pleaded before the European Parliament last March, saying, quote unquote, please do not sponsor the weapons of war of this country, of Russia. No euros for the occupiers. Close all your ports to them. Deny energy resources. Europe obviously could not care less, for Russian ships continue to harbor in its ports and Russian energy continues to flow through European taps as well. What would you call it if not a classic case of European hypocrisy? We are now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.